Barrel is known around the world for its incredible comfort food, and visitors in the South always have to grab a bite while they're here. Now Cracker Barrel's music program is growing by leaps and bounds with albums from many of yesterday and today's biggest stars. Mandy Barnett was fortunate to have Cracker Barrel release her Winter Wonderland album 3 years ago, and now she is teaming up again for I Can't Stop Loving You, which is a tribute to her good friend Don Gibson. Lynn hooked up with Mandy to hear all about that new album.
Mandy Barnett, it is so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic album. Now, you did a tribute album to your friend Don Gibson, and he was a personal friend. You guys go back, right?
We do. We met in 2001, and he came to one of my shows at 3rd and Lindsley, and it was just so amazing that he came out because he was a very reclusive person, and you know, people were, you know, their jaws were dropping when they saw him walk in, and we became great friends and started hanging out and singing around his house and had lunch on a regular basis, and he was just a really, really special person.
So did y'all talk about doing a tribute album to him at that point?
We did. We'd actually discussed doing an album of duets, and you know, his health was kind of up and down, and so that never happened, but he had asked me if I would ever consider doing an album of his songs. He said a woman had never done it before, and of course he'd heard me sing you know, Legend in My Time and I Can't Stop Loving You on the Grand Ole Opry, and I said I will absolutely do one. I don't know when and I don't know how, but I will do it one day.
And you teamed up with Cracker Barrel on this one, so I can't wait because we get to go into Cracker Barrel, and I'm going to get a big old biscuit and some of that blackberry jelly, and what a great partner. And you did this once with your Christmas album, right?
I did. They are a great partner, and you know, I think that my fans enjoy going to Cracker Barrel, Don Gibson fans enjoy going to Cracker Barrel, and so I just think it's a great match.
Now, and on this album, we've got to go back to talk about it because these songs, as you know, he's an amazing songwriter, wrote all of these, performed all of these, and there's one on here that you teamed up with Alison Krauss.
That's right. She sang harmonies on Blue Blue Day, and Blue Blue Day originally was an up-tempo number, and so we slowed it down, and now it's a mournful ballad. There's strings and a beautiful harmonica solo by Charlie McCoy, and who's in the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Recently, and then, I guess a year or so ago.
That's right, and then of course Alison Krauss's beautiful harmonies.
Wow. So I also heard through the grapevine that you had all the A-listers, pretty much, even guys from back in the day that came in and played on this.
I did. I had Harold Bradley and Lloyd Green, Pig Robbins, and Charlie, and then we filled it in with some of the current musicians that are, you know, that are doing great stuff today, and we just had a great time.
I feel like running away from the blue.
What's another one on here that to you really stands out that you would?
Well, you know, I like them all for different reasons, but you know, I'm Hurtin', which is a song that wasn't a big hit, but it's we start the album with that. That's great. Look Who's Blue. Just One Time, which was a big hit for Connie Smith. There's Sweet Dreams, which is done in a completely different version than the Patsy Cline number. Legend in My Time, Oh Such a Stranger. Just a lot of, you know, really great numbers. He was a wonderful songwriter.
I can't get over how it set me free.
Congrats on this fantastic album, Can't Stop Loving You, tribute to Mr. Don Gibson. Mandy Barnett.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Sweet, sweet dreams.
Now it's time for our weekly songwriter tip. This week we sit down with hit writer Heather Morgan as she talks about staying true to yourself.
Find your voice in what you do personally, because I think sometimes you hear what you're doing all the time and you might question that is not unique, but it is. And it's probably something that somebody else isn't doing. And sometimes I will hear a new writer and it sounds like they might be mimicking what they hear on the radio right now. And I think sometimes I'm guilty of this too. You hear something on the radio and you want to write that, but it's always good just to remember that you have a unique gift and style for the way that you're going to put words and melodies together, and the way you might play an instrument might be totally different from how somebody else will play it, and be something that resonates with an artist when they hear your music and you're pitching them songs. So have faith in your own abilities and finding your own voice, because it's really important and people are going to want that. And it might take a while, so be patient, but I've watched it happen with a bunch of writers that kind of have honed in on what they really are great at, and you'll see one day it crosses paths with somebody else that's an artist and it lines up, and great things can happen when you just kind of believe in what you already do and not try to be something else.
For more information on the craft of songwriting, check out NashvilleSongwriters.com. That's about all the time we have for this week's show, but don't forget those new Southern Way of Life discs we have up for grabs from Dina Carter. Enter this week's drawing online only at InsideMusicRow.com. You can also check out each of our episodes online at Zeus.com/InsideMusicRow. Make sure to check out the latest music videos in any genre while you're there too. We're going to leave you today with Josh Thompson and a live performance of Cold Beer with Your Name on It from the Delta Country Jam. Until next time, I'm Bailey for Inside Music Row, and I'll see you again real soon.
Sitting on a